Hello students, let us continue chapter 15, our environment. Today we are going to discuss our last two topics, one out of which is how do our activities affect the environment? How do our day-to-day life activities affect the ecosystem? So before discussing how we are damaging the ozone layer, let us first discuss what is ozone layer. Actually, ozone layer is a molecule of oxygen with three atoms. We know that generally we represent oxygen in molecular form, that is O2. But here ozone is in the form of three atoms, that is we represent it in the form of O3. Ozone layer is in the stratosphere, and actually what happens, the ultraviolet radiations come from sun split the oxygen molecule into free oxygen atoms, like O2 is converted to O plus O, and these atoms, these free atoms, now combine with the molecular form of oxygen which is already present in the atmosphere, and hence on combining O plus O2 we obtain ozone, that is O3. Ozone layer is very important for us. Actually, the UV radiation cause ionizing effect that leads to the skin cancer. At ground level, ozone is very poisonous, but at higher level it is very useful as it protects all living organisms from harmful UV radiations of the sun. It doesn't allow the ultraviolet radiations to enter the surface of the earth. As we know that UV radiations are very harmful, very poisonous, that can cause many type of diseases in human beings. So ozone layer in the stratosphere is very helpful in shielding harmful UV rays. In absence of ozone layer, heavy damage to organisms may occur. It may cause diseases like skin cancer, cataract, and also reduce crop production. So the damage is limited by UNEP, United Nations Environment Programme. In 1987, the UNEP succeeded in forging an agreement among different nations to freeze the CFC production at 1986. What is CFC? Chlorofluorocarbon. It is important to note that CFC is used mostly in refrigerators or compressors of AC, fire extinguishers, and some aerosol sprays like perfumes. So, it is due to the efforts by the UNEP and different environmentalists, the CFC emission has been put under some control. Because this CFC emission penetrates the ozone layer, which is very important for us. We should protect our environment. In order to stop further depletion of ozone layer, we must scale down the use of CFCs in form of aerosols, refrigerants, etc., and check their release in the atmosphere. Okay, students, in our daily activities, we generate a lot of material that are thrown away, that is garbage. So, what kind of these waste materials are? What happens after we throw them away? So, discuss all these things. Let us perform an activity. Collect some waste material from your home. This could include all the waste generated during a whole day, like kitchen waste, some spoiled food, vegetable peels, tea leaves, etc. Along with that, some waste paper, empty bottles, medicine bottles, bubble pack, clothes. Bury this material under the soil or under the pit for 15 to 20 days and keep this material moist. After 15 to 20 days, let us observe what kind of materials that remain unchanged over long periods of time, or what kind of materials which change their form and structure after these 15 to 20 days. Note them separately. This will categorize our garbage into biodegradable substances and non-biodegradable substances. So, let us discuss what are these biodegradable substances and non-biodegradable substances. Biodegradable wastes are those substances which are broken down into simpler, harmless substances in nature in due course of some time by biological processes such as action of microorganisms like some bacteria or with some other agents or with the action of saprotrops. In other words, we can say biodegradable substances are those substances which can get decomposed very easily in small particles. So, such substances get decomposed in the environment very easily. Examples of some biodegradable substances like leftover food, vegetables, and fruit peels, urine, sewage, agricultural residues, paper, wood, cloth, cow dung, animal dung, etc. Now, non biodegradable substances, which cannot be broken down into simpler, harmless substances by the action of microorganism or any other agent like some bacteria or any saprotrops. So, easily we can say these substances cannot be broken down into simple form or cannot get decomposed very easily in the environment. It takes millions of years to get decomposed. Some examples of non biodegradable substances are plastic, glass, metal, rubber. This kind of materials take millions of years to get decomposed. So we should think over it and we should reduce the use of such kind of materials. So after discussing biodegradable and non biodegradable substances, we should decide how to manage these kind of garbages properly without harming the environment. So I will suggest you should you should keep two different garbage bins, in which first garbage bin you keep only biodegradable substance while in other you keep non biodegradable substances. Sometimes few of non biodegradable substances can be recycled, so we can give them, and biodegradable substances can be used to make compost pit for good manure. On the other hand, improvements in our lifestyle have resulted in greater amounts of waste material generation. Changes in our attitude also have a role to play, with more and more things we use becoming disposable, thus resulted in much of our waste becoming non biodegradable, such as electronic gadgets like mobiles, laptops, some other electronic equipments. So we should think over it and we should reduce the use of such non biodegradable substances. So, because we have to save our environment. I hope you understood the chapter. Thank you for listening.